Steve, you were there in the Superdome for the game. I imagine it was rocking like it was back in 08 and 09.
It wasn't rocking for about a quarter and a half in the second half when the Rams were making that comeback. It was pretty silent there. But let me tell you what's going on here. These two teams, for whatever reason, they don't like each other. I was talking to players from both teams before the game. There is something going on there, whether it's an arrogance, whether it's who's going to be the big boss in the NFC. So I think that's why Mike Thomas put that phone under there, like, we're going to show you, I'm going to score, and I'm going to put it in your face a little bit, because the Saints right now are operating, guys, with an incredible, well-earned, we're the arrogant ones. We've got a right to do what we do. And the Rams are trying to get there, okay? Yeah. They were undefeated, but the Saints are operating with so much gravitas and swagger right now that the way they played, and it goes to show it. And that's why Mike Thomas felt he could pull a stunt like this.
I was convinced going into the playoffs last year that they were the best team, and then, of course, the Minnesota Miracle happened. We will never find out. This year started so poorly for them. They got lit up by the Buccaneers, right, and then,
as it usually does,
should have lost to the Browns, internal discord and all. If it wasn't for a missed kick, they would have lost to the Browns. And now, you're right, they're playing at an insanely high level. Drew Brees may look in that clip like a politician who's visiting a disaster site with the sleeves rolled up and the open collar. But he is also, along with Patrick Mahomes, he is playing the best football in our league right now in terms of quarterbacks.
When I look at this Saints team, to me, a couple things jump out at you. Number one, physical. Up front with that offensive line, they're playing very physical. They're efficient. They don't take sacks. They're the least sacked team in the NFL. Drew doesn't turn the football over, only has one interception. And then a lot of times you'll see those two things, but you won't see the explosive element. They have the explosive element to go along with that. Now, that's all offensively. The one thing I would caution you on is defensively. Jared Goff threw for almost 400 yards in this game. We saw Ryan Fitzpatrick go in there and throw for 1,000,000 yards. So they have some things that need to get worked out, especially you look down the line. Again, I can see explosive offenses like this. They're going to find themselves in some more shootouts. Their defense has got to find a way to make a couple more plays.
At the same time, let's also get to the play callers in this game, the two Seans, McVay and Payton.
Two of the best.
What they were doing out there, it lived up to everything with the creativity. Some of the execution was not always precise. But what Sean Payton was able to do, I think he was a little bit of getting his team on the edge because he's hearing so much about Sean McVay and him being such a Svengali.
Yeah.
And Sean Payton dialed up a game. That touchdown designed pass to Ben Watson in the first half was just spectacular. Took advantage of a lot of the Rams' defensive principles and integrity and really just set things up.
And I don't blame McVay for going for that field goal. I mean, that was a game where you felt like field goals weren't going to win it. You had to go touchdowns. And anyway, it didn't work out.
All gas, no brakes. That's the way he does it.
And that's the way the Saints do it, too. That's probably how we could describe what Michael Thomas did on the celebration. And look, I don't want to knock it. I know what that celebration meant to Saints fans when Joe Horn did it back in 2003. One difference, that was second quarter when Joe Horn did it.
Yes. He also scored 4 touchdowns that game, Joe Horn.
He did, and a big-time win over the Giants. By the way, Jesse Palmer was quarterback for the Giants in that game. Anyway, this is what Joe Horn had to say about Michael Thomas. He was not courageous enough to take risks, will accomplish nothing in life. It took a lot of courage, and I appreciate that, and I'll never forget that.
The first line is right out of the fortune cookie, by the way.
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
Joe Hollywood Horn, that is exactly how he speaks. He speaks in hyperbole. He's one of my all-time favorites. He means so much to that city.
Yes, he does.
I spent time with him right after Katrina, hugging evacuees, saw him hugging evacuees and handing out his own money, opening his house to people when he wasn't there. I mean, he is a genuine article. They love him there for a reason.
Yeah, and look, and the fact that he decided to pay homage to Joe Horn, we don't know what necessarily sparked it. He said he was watching a YouTube video and saw it. And, you even saw on the sideline he went and put on the oxygen mask like Joe Horn did after he scored the touchdown.
And it only worked because of the flip phone. If you pull out an iPhone X, it's over.
No, it was impressive, indeed. As Jim Trotter put it in the headline of his piece, swaggering Saints get the victory.
Absolutely.
They got that swagger.